I came home with a paper sleeve full of plane tickets and found my wife in the kitchen, hair tied up, apron on, the whole house smelling like roast chicken and rosemary. She met me at the door, wiped her hands on a towel, and kissed me like nothing in the world could possibly go wrong. The table was set, candles ready. For about 10 minutes, I felt like the luckiest man alive. I slid the tickets into the drawer by the fridge, hid my smile, and pictured how her whole face would light up when I finally told her about the trip. Then her phone lit up on the counter. She glanced at it, and her smile dipped. Not even half an inch, just a tiny flicker, like a cloud passing over a streetlight. She flipped the phone face down and pushed the wine toward me. "Smells amazing," I told her. "You're sweet," she said, tossing the salad like she didn't just deflect a whole conversation. It should have been a perfect night. Instead, that one small moment put a scratch in the surface. If I'd known what that text was and where it would eventually take us, I would have paid attention a lot earlier. We ate, we laughed. I waited until she brought out the pie she somehow fit into her afternoon. That was my moment. "I stopped by the travel agency today," I said, leaning back. "Remember that weekend trip we kept talking about but never planned? I did it. 10 days, sun, water, quiet, just us." Her fork froze. 10 days? "Business seats both ways," I said. "Little place by the water. You'll forget what day it is." "That's a lot." Her eyes flicked to the flipped phone like she was waiting for a prompt. "You hate long, quiet beach trips." I kept it light. "I love you," she said suddenly, touching my wrist. "Thank you. 10 days is a lot with my schedule right now." She pulled her hand away like the moment burned. "We'll talk in the morning." "In the morning," I agreed. But when I pushed the ticket sleeve deeper into the drawer, I caught myself thinking about that message she turned over. After dinner, she showered, slipped into one of my shirts, and curled up with me on the couch. Her head on my shoulder, TV on low. Perfect vibe. Except when my phone buzzed, she didn't care. When hers did, she glanced fast and tucked it under a cushion. "Everything okay?" I asked casually. "It's nothing." Nothing always has a name. "Just an old friend," she added. She kissed my cheek and stood. "I'm going to bed." Old friend planted itself in the back of my mind. Still, I slept. I trusted the woman who fed me roast chicken and lit candles. In the morning, that trust got tested. I left early to finalize the hotel details. The travel agent printed the itinerary, called me a romantic. I drove home whistling. The house felt warm and whole. Her shoes by the mat, kitchen cleaned. But no wife. Bathroom door open. Bedroom empty. Bed made like a display set. I texted, "Where are you?" 3 dots popped up instantly. "Remember my ex? He's back in town and wanted to catch up. Don't worry, we're just talking. You don't need the details." I stared at the screen like it owed me money. My thumb hovered over the keyboard, but I put the phone down, leaned on the counter, and listened to the dishwasher hum like it was giving commentary. Just talking. I don't need the details. I trusted her, but I filed those sentences away like receipts. Around 5, she walked in, daylight gone, kicked off her shoes like she'd run a marathon. I poured coffee and waited. "How was catching up?" I asked, emotionless. "Fine." Fine like boring, strange, or please drop this. "Please don't be like that," she sighed, grabbing the mug without meeting my eyes. "He was in town. He wanted to see how I am. We're adults." I nodded toward her phone. "Is that why last night suddenly required privacy?" Her eyes chilled instantly. "I don't have to narrate every second. I told you the truth." "You gave me a headline," I said. "Here's another. I booked us a trip. 10 days. I wanted you to hear the details first." "That's sweet," she said, voice flat. "I might not be able to do 10 days." "Then tell me what days you can do. We'll adjust." She set her mug down. "Can we not do logistics tonight? I'm tired." "No problem." I opened the drawer, took out the ticket sleeve, and laid it on the counter between us. "This is where I put my energy. You can match it or not. Your call." You're making this heavy. No, I said. I'm showing priorities. She thumbed the sleeve open, glanced for a second, and slid it back. We'll see. Good, I said. I'm not dragging anyone to paradise. She walked to the bedroom. A fence went up between us, quiet, neat, and right down the middle of my life. The next week felt off. She was there but faint, like a radio station slightly out of range. Quick good mornings, phone glued to her hand. Suddenly she had girls' nights twice a week instead of once a month. Thursday she came home late, tossed down takeout, hair tie snapping off. Girls' night, I asked while sorting bills. Yeah. Which girls? You don't know all my friends, she said, digging into the bag without asking if I'd eaten. I know enough to know names, I said, but if we're doing the whole you don't need details thing. Fine, she snapped. Here's one detail. We're not doing the trip as planned. What? I'm not dragging tension through airports, I said evenly. I'll change the dates. When you can think about a beach without needing a committee, we'll talk. That's manipulative. No, that's a boundary. I built something nice. I'm not sitting on a beach next to someone who treats it like a chore. She softened. First illusion. I'm sorry this week's been weird. Old memories resurfaced. He reached out. It stirred stuff. I'm sorting it out. I should have told you more. Thank you for the trip. I hear you, I said, not letting it sink in. Sort it out. When I have a partner who's fully in, we'll plan. I am in, she said softly, touching my arm. Don't punish me for being honest. Not punishing, adjusting. I'm moving the trip and cashing out of late night question marks. What does that even mean? It means if you're out late, I'm not sitting here like a houseplant. I'll see friends, hit the gym. If you want time, take it. I'm taking mine. That's petty. That's balance. We went to bed with her turned away again. I didn't chase it. Friday night, she announced another girls' night without even looking up from her closet. Which girls this time? I asked from the doorway. You're doing it again. Names aren't interrogations, I said, but okay, take your time. She left wearing a dress I hadn't seen in months. I put on a jacket and headed to the bar where my buddy Nate hosts trivia nights. Nate's a contractor with blunt honesty and the memory of a tax auditor. When I walked in, he raised a hand and smirked. Look what the wind dragged in, he said. Where's the better half? Girl time, I said. Girl time? On a schedule now? Apparently. He slid me a club soda. Everything fine? Fine, I said. He leaned on the counter. You look like you're doing math in your head. I'm adjusting. Good, he said. Adjust early. Cheaper long term. When I got home, the house was dark. I slept. She came in late, light-footed, and showered like someone washing off a story. I stared at the ceiling, counting quiet decisions. Saturday morning, she was bright as noon, second illusion of the week. She made pancakes, put music on, kissed my cheek, asked what I wanted to do. Let's talk dates for the trip, I said. She tilted her head, sweet enough to give a dentist work. Can it wait till Monday? I want to enjoy us. You want to enjoy me without committing to me, I said calmly. That's not a weekend. That's rental. Her smile froze. You're being harsh. I'm being honest. I grabbed my jacket. I'm going to the shop. I'll text you dinner plans. If you're out, you're out. Wow, she said, watching me. So this is you setting rules. This is me setting rules for me, I said. You're free to do you. I'm free not to sponsor it. At the shop, my assistant Maria was labeling packages. Maria is sharp, calm, and allergic to nonsense. She looked at me and lifted an eyebrow. You look like a tax audit, she said. Which part? The part where it's not your fault, but you still have to pay. She taped a box. Everything okay at home? Let's call it a recalibration phase, I said. If I don't answer my phone tonight, text me at 10 and remind me tomorrow exists. I'll set a reminder, she said without probing. That's why she's good. By midweek, the new pattern was locked in. Hugs cooled, her phone warmed. She started going off-grid on weeknights and adding Sunday brunches with friends I'd never heard of. When she was home, she was tired. When I talked, she didn't have bandwidth. Thursday, she rushed in, grabbed a tote, and kissed the air near my cheek. "Dinner?" I asked. "Don't wait up." "I'm not 12, I said. "I wasn't going to." She paused. "Can you not be hostile?" "I'm not hostile," I said. "I'm just uninterested in being a prop." She rolled her eyes. "You're so dramatic." "Then do me a favor," I said, unlocking my phone. "Send me your schedule, just the cliff notes, so I don't have to guess my own life." "You don't get to manage me," she snapped. "I'm managing me," I replied. "Send it, don't send it. Just know I'm not waiting up." She left. I booked a single business class seat to the same beach resort, changed the dates, paid cash, no announcement, no discussion. If she could enjoy her freedom, so could I. Nate texted, "You free Saturday? Boat day with Tom and his wife." Count me in. Saturday on the water, Tom asked where my wife was. Tom's a quiet guy who squints at problems until they confess. "Girls' weekend," I said. Nate whistled. "That's a lot of girl time." "Sometimes it's a phase," Tom said. "Sure," I replied. "I'm phasing too. Took care of the trip solo." Nate's eyes warmed. "You did?" "Yeah." "When?" "Booked yesterday, leaving next week. 10 days. I'll see if I miss being ignored." Tom shook his head with a tiny smile. "Don't do anything dumb." "Dumb would be sitting still and hoping," I said. "Hope is too expensive." When I got home that afternoon, she was getting ready again. Different dress, same perfume. I sat on the edge of the bed, watching her pick earrings. "Where to?" I asked. "Brittany's." "We only know one Brittany, and you met her once at a barbecue." She froze for half a second. "I don't think so." "Okay," I said. "Just confirming something before you go. I moved the trip." Her eyelids barely twitched. "To when?" "To when it makes sense." "Will you tell me?" "Not right now." "You're being mean," she said. "No," I said, standing. "I'm mirroring. You set the tone. Don't worry, you don't need the details. I'm following the policy." She scoffed. "Oh, please." "Look," I said, "I'm not your parole officer. I don't need to know where you are every second. But partnership means not guessing constantly. You want mystery? Fine. I want distance. That's my version." "Fine," she snapped. "Do whatever makes you feel in control." "I am in control," I said quietly. "Of me." She left. I packed. Not everything, just the things that mattered. Passport, shirts, sunglasses, book, sense of humor. Sunday morning, I left a note. "Back soon. Handle what's yours." At the airport lounge, the leather chair felt like a personal apology from the universe. On the plane, I slept the way a man sleeps when he finally stops arguing with ghosts. When I landed, the air smelled like salt and second chances. I checked in, dropped my bag, and walked straight into the ocean until the water cooled my ankles. By day 2, I felt human. I swam, I read, I ate grilled fish. I didn't talk to a single person who wanted something from me. On the second night, a woman around my age asked if the seat next to me was taken. Paige. Divorced 3 years, owns a small marketing shop, laughs like she trusts her own jokes. We talked about everything except marriage. It was easy, simple, grown up. No promises. We took a walk. That's all. I didn't check my phone much. I was done with that old game. I was building a new schedule, one that didn't require her participation. Day 3, late morning. I glanced at my messages. Nothing from her. That said plenty. I put the phone away and went swimming. Around sunset, Paige and I sat by the water with iced tea when my phone buzzed again. The screen lit up like a warning flare. "Where are you? I need money." No hello, no are you okay, Just a demand, like my life was a vending machine. I stared at the screen, then switched the camera to front-facing. "Paige," I said quietly, "mind a quick photo joke?" She smirked. "If it's not going online, sure." "It's going to someone who asked for details." She nodded. I took the picture, me with a sunburned nose, Paige in a sundress off to the side. Both of us smiling at nothing but the day. Caption: "You don't need the details." Calls came in like sirens. I let 2 ring out into the ocean breeze. On the 3rd, I answered. "What is this?" she demanded. "Clarity," I said. "Who is she?" "Don't worry," I said. "We're just talking." "You think you're funny?" "I think I'm consistent." "You're being cruel." "I'm being you," I said, and hung up. Then I blocked her number. I set the phone face down on the table and watched the sun finish its shift. Paige raised an eyebrow. That looked loaded. "Long story," I said. "Short version, I finally matched energy." "Good for you," she said. "You want to talk about it?" "Not tonight," I said. "Tonight, I want to let the ocean do its job." The next days were quiet and clean. I swam more. I slept full nights. I smiled at strangers and didn't feel like I owed anybody anything. If guilt showed up, it found no one home. I hadn't broken anything. I just stopped pretending something wasn't cracked. 2 days later, I flew home. The cabin lights clicked on early, the wheels hit the runway, and I felt more grounded than I had in a month. My phone stayed silent the whole ride back. At the house, I walked into a vacuum of concern. She wasn't there, no fresh flowers, no note, not even a "where are you?" I showered, shaved, got dressed, and drove straight to my attorney's office. I didn't want a scene. I wanted my life back. We filed the papers that afternoon. Then I went home, packed what was mine into clean boxes, and called movers for the heavy stuff with my name on the receipts. I didn't touch anything that belonged to her. The house title was in my name. No drama, just execution. I called Nate. "I need a favor. Know any decent short-term rentals?" "3rd floor above my buddy's shop," he said. "Furnished, quiet, sunrise view if you're into that." "I'm into starting over." "Then it's perfect," he said. "Need help moving?" "I need a witness. I'll be there in an hour." He showed up with a clipboard like it was an Olympic event. He watched me load boxes, signed a little inventory of what I took and what I left. No speeches, just clean paperwork. I texted her one sentence from the empty kitchen. "Keys are on the hook. We'll handle the rest by email." I walked out, pulled the door shut, and didn't look back. In the rental, I slept like truth itself. For the first time in weeks, my brain wasn't running sprints at midnight. Days passed, nothing from her. Not a "let's talk," not a "why," not a "come home," not even anger, just silence. Then, on day 3 at 10 a.m., an email popped up from an unknown number. "Where are you? I need money for utilities." That was the first line, not "how are you?" not "what happened?" Just an invoice wrapped in human skin. I replied, "Handle yours." Maria knocked on my office door around lunch. "You're lighter," she said. I finally moved out of my own waiting room. "Good," she said. "You want me to take the afternoon call so you can get an hour to just breathe?" "I'm fine," I said. "Today I'm going to sell things, eat a sandwich, and not explain my feelings." "That's the spirit," she smirked, and went back to the front. By the end of the week, the rumor mill started whispering like gossip always does. Tom texted first. "Ran into her at the grocery store. She said some things about you." I called him. "What kind of things?" "The kind where you're the villain," he said carefully. "Said you changed overnight. Said you skipped town. Said you took a trip alone just to make a point. Left out some chapters." "People love short books," I said. "She mentioned late nights and you being distant," he added. "Did she mention hers?" "Of course not." Tom exhaled. "What do you need from me?" "Nothing," I said. "I don't need character witnesses. I need distance." Then you're getting it, he said. I'll see you this weekend. A week turned into 2. My attorney emailed updates. Everything was moving quickly. I stayed out of the way. Nights were simple. Gym, a beer with Nate without turning it into symbolism, a phone call with my sister, who said I finally sounded like the brother she recognized. Then one afternoon, while I was cooking eggs in the rental kitchen, I got a text from another unknown number. We need to meet. I want what's fair. Fair, a loaded word, usually means I want money that isn't actually mine. The narrative she'd spread painted me as unreliable and selfish. Meanwhile, she conveniently skipped the part about disappearing 3 nights a week and texting her ex behind a flipped phone. The problem for her was simple. Receipts exist. Titles exist. Timelines exist. I replied, email my attorney. Keep everything documented. No reply. Good. The following week, my attorney sent the final message. Everything's signed. Assets divided exactly as legally appropriate. House remains yours. Accounts unchanged. No fireworks, just math. I drove to the house with a locksmith. We walked room by room like 2 inspectors on a quiet crime scene. The wedding photo was gone. Fine. The couch was still there. She had taken her clothes, her keepsakes, and not much else. The locksmith changed the locks, handed me new keys, nodded. Nice place, he said. It's home again, I answered. I stood there in the living room and breathed in the quiet. It felt clean, balanced, like someone had finally turned off the static. Then I sent one final text to her old number, the one I unblocked for the sake of civility. Paperwork's finalized. Movers can grab anything you forgot on Saturday. Read. No reply. Honestly, that was mercy. That night, Nate came over with Chinese takeout and a terrible movie. He kicked off his shoes on my couch like it was his. You look good, he said. I feel like a normal person. You're a better version, he said. What now? Now, I said, I live. I go to work. I lift heavy things. I answer to myself. To quiet houses, he said, raising his carton. To quiet houses, I echoed. 2 weeks later, I ran into Paige downtown. She was in town for a conference. Recognized me from across a crosswalk. We grabbed coffee. No promises. Adult friendship isn't a downgrade. We laughed, talked about work, talked about weather. Talked like 2 people with no hidden agendas. Later, word trickled through friends like rain through gutters. Her ex drifted back out of her life. She moved again. Smaller city. Rented place near a freeway. Instagram caption. New beginnings. Nobody asked me if I cared. It wasn't their business. Also, I didn't. Months after the last box was gone, I woke up in my house on a Saturday. The light came in soft and clean. The kitchen was mine again. I took my truck upstate, windows down, stopped at a farmer's market where nobody knew my name. I bought tomatoes that tasted like actual sun and a handmade cutting board from a guy who carved his initials into the corner. In the afternoon, I swung by a friend's backyard barbecue. Tom was there with his wife. Nate was there, loud as always. May was on a lawn chair being sarcastic and useful at the same time. Tom's wife pulled me aside. You look different, she said. Like what? Like peace, she said, then laughed at herself. That sounds corny, but you do. Peace is underrated, I told her. Nate waved me over. House rewarming party next weekend? Nothing big, I said. Close friends, no speeches. I'll bring cupcakes that taste like sugar and poor decisions, he said. I looked at the group, the people who held me up just by standing still around me, and thought about the roast chicken, the plane tickets in the drawer, and the one text that cracked the mirror in my house. Everything after that was choices. A few weeks later, Paige came back to town, this time for longer, consulting for a client near us. We grabbed dinner, we talked business, books, the weird weather swings we'd been having. At the end, she laughed. You're easier now, she said. I'm edited, I answered. What about the ex situation? Relocated, I said simply. Good, Paige said. You deserve someone who likes you on weekdays. I like me on weekdays, I said. Best start, she smiled. I walked her to her car. No fireworks, no grand moment, just two people who knew the value of clean exits and slow entries. When I got home, I opened a window and stood in the dark, listening to the ordinary noises of a neighborhood that had outlasted our drama. A dog barking 2 houses down, a car door shutting, wind through the fences. My house felt like mine for the first time in a long time. Before bed, I opened the drawer by the fridge, the one where I'd hidden the plane tickets months ago. The envelope was still there. 1 ticket used, 1 ticket not. I took the envelope out, dropped it into the recycling bin, and closed the drawer gently. If there's a moral, it's this. When someone tells you, "Don't worry, you don't need the details," believe them. They're giving you your rank. Then make a new rank. Move your time, move your money, move your life. Don't yell, don't beg, don't give speeches. Just act. Let actions close the door for you. The last message I ever sent her was also the last thing I said out loud in that house, standing in the doorway with the keys on the hook. It wasn't poetic. It wasn't dramatic. It was exact. You don't have to choose me, but I'm choosing me. And that was it. The next quarter, the shop grew. Maria got a raise, well deserved. Nate and I fell into a Saturday routine. Basketball at 9, coffee after. Tom and his wife came over one Sunday, and we ate burgers on the deck at the new table I'd sanded myself. The house felt lived in by a man who actually knew where his tools were. As for her, friends said she moved again. Different city, rental by a freeway. Trying to rebuild. Good. People do. I don't hate her. I don't wish her harm. I just don't miss being a background character in my own home. I held the boundary and kept the tone. I didn't rush into anything new. Met a few women, had good conversations. Nothing heavy, nothing forced, just life. And the trip I originally booked for 2? Turns out it was the ticket back to myself. Not the beach, not the fish tacos, not the iced tea by the water. The decision, the act, the moment I stopped holding a place for someone who couldn't bother to show up. You want me tender? I was, at first. You want me patient? I was, until patience started costing respect. Now, I'm exact. And I sleep.